Hello, and here is the Dark Quarter. I did not get the all-in, but I did get the all-in gameplay bundle, I guess, or complete. We have the expansion Lost in the Night, and Yesterday's Demon. And other stories, I don't know exactly what that means. I was really interested in this game because I really like the Investigator Arkham mythos stuff, and the Dark Quarter played into it. Dark Quarter is done by Ryder and Lucky Duck Games. I'm not exactly sure why they did a collab like this, but the idea is really neat. Lucky Duck had a game called Destinies, I believe it was called, and we've played through that, had a really neat idea, but the concept that I had a hard time with in the game was the fact that it was really a solitaire game. You weren't working together, you're kind of doing your own thing, and it didn't really matter. It was kind of a weird race. This is built off the same system, but it's now become a co-op game story that everyone is involved in. As far as the expansions go, they add characters, but reading through them, I don't think you can mix and match characters, which seems a little disappointing. And I don't know if that's just because of how the writing is. I also don't know if they plan on actually adding more scenarios, and I'll get to that because of how this game works. The Dark Quarter is a cooperative digital hybrid adventure game that tells a rich, dynamic story through multi-scenario campaign. Players are invited to make critical decisions and will not only affect their characters, but also change the course of the narrative itself. Characters are not simply avatars easily replaceable from any one scenario to the next. Instead, they are woven into the very fabric of the story. Their destiny and the destiny of New Orleans are intrinsically linked. Scan to play, QR codes. It's also the theme of New Orleans. I lived in Louisiana for a bit. New Orleans is a fascinating city if you've ever been there. It's also kind of overly rated at times. But the lore mythology, especially with vampires, is very high. And obviously she screams vampire. We do have some side art, which shows off some stuff. A little blurb. New Orleans, Louisiana, 1981. It's the hottest summer on record. Air so heavy you could reach out and touch it, infused with a mood so plaintive that you wonder if the specter of the city's past might crawl their way back to life. If the city ever lived up to its ancient nickname, the Wet Grave, it was during the summer of 81. Up and down Bourbon Street, neon lights flicker in dirty puddles. The innovations of the modern world clash with ancient and terrible traditions. Here, answers are hard to come by, and when it comes to murder, there's always more than meets the eye. We have our token sheets. I had the options to get the acrylic tokens. I didn't. These are little markers that are attached to these lampposts or some of the characters. They're interaction markers as quest markers from what I understand. This is your main objective that you're going to put on the map. Once you go to that location, it's going to trigger endgame, which is a good wording. It tells you to get prepared. These are locations you can basically interact with and investigate, and each character gets 8 of these marking tokens. We have our experience tokens here. The brown ones are 1s and the blue ones are 5s. These are characters that are going to reference certain locations, and that's going to be done with a numbering system on the back. These pins are points of interest on the main board, I believe. And when you flip them over, that says you've done them. Here is our game board. New Orleans. It's not very big. And honestly, I don't think it needs to be big. I'm going to kind of have a hard time. I haven't run the app yet to see how the pins and everything is going to go. And then in this section, there's the French Quarter, I believe, because it looks like the French Quarter. That's definitely the French Quarter, because that's that church I went to. But really neat idea, because you don't need this board really for anything else except keeping track of where your guys are going to investigate. We have our recessed player boards. We have Winter Mullins, Julia Paris, Constance Monroe, and John Robidoux? I don't know. I like the recessed boards. Really important for keeping track of your tokens, and this has to do with how your stats are. This is basically you're trying to beat the number that your stat is in. And we have Investigate, a Fight, Mystic ability, and a Charisma ability. That's kind of like Arkham. But each one of the little recesses for your dice is a different shape. I thought that was really neat, especially the way they worked it into the art. On the back of them are blurbs about their stories, which I haven't read. The top tray is a neat system. This is to hold your tokens. It's the perfect hex cutout for your hex tokens. So it's a nice, quick, easy way to reference and find your guys. I thought that was actually really neat because it's not super expensive, but but you can leave it open. And then you can just put it on top to keep everything nice and organized. The minis, there was a miniature kit that I believe replaced these guys. It said it added 20 more minis, but I didn't think it was necessary. Mainly because I didn't think they were going to have the numbers printed on the bottom. But if you can see there, that barely shows the 004. This is going to refer to one of these cards, like this is 001. And that's going to spawn, and I believe this is the boss for the scenario, this giant werewolf miniature. You have some minor characters, again, like this is 001. Looks like Baron Samedi. And they're all labeled. It's actually a really nice system. The dice. Your characters have their own special dice. These are some really nice dice. And I enjoy these dice. They're very well made. But your character always has 2 of these dice. And then they'll have 3 of these that they unlock as bonus skills. And then, of course, we have our fun Mardi Gras. These are Mardi Gras colors, really, that are for the pegs and the boards. But the game system basically works as you're going to pull out locations, and these locations are going to go next to the main game board, and they're going to have tokens, marks of interest, and your characters go around. And it seems like you're all investigating a crime. You're going to roll your dice. You're trying to go beat the number here. Obviously, 1's really good, but usually start around here, same as Destiny, where you have to beat that. That's why they give you 2 dice, and it's hard to beat those tests. But you can unlock more abilities and manipulations. But this is the system that I really enjoyed about Destiny's, and I thought was really good, and that made this more interesting. Every card in the game has an ability, which is a default thing that it's going to do. But the thing that makes it really special is this QR code. That QR code through the app, you're going to read it, and depending on where you are in the story, this card will do something different. And that's the part I'm really fascinated with. And because of how this game is, you don't need to actually shuffle the cards, so I'm not going to even sleeve these, which is rare for me. But an example would be like this crowbar. In Destiny, you'd run into things like there was a lock, and you could do a strength test to break the lock, or if you had certain equipment. Crowbar doesn't give you the option to break the lock here. It does add to a fight test, but if you had a crowbar at a location that required you to pry something open, the QR code probably is going to give you that option. And that's the part I thought was very fascinating with this game, and makes me wonder, could they build more campaigns through free digital releases down the road? The ability to do stuff like that is what makes this fascinating to me, and what makes me interested in this. This cost me about 100 euros plus shipping. So take that for what you will. It might not be good. It might be like Destiny's, and I might find it boring. Certain items you can put together, and they're going to make stuff. And of course, we have like some story items. We got a destroy totem and a totem. These are going together. It's just a very neat, convoluted system that, depending on how the app works. In Destiny's, when I've played it 3 times, I never had a problem with the app. It worked pretty well. I expect the same quality from this. I don't remember, and I can't find my copy of Destiny's. I think I might have sold it. We have starting abilities that are unique to your characters. It's a very neat system to add more variety to play. But overall, I think it's kind of a cool system. Everyone gets 3 starting, but you only pick one of them. The rest get shuffled, and they're marked by the S in the corner. And you can only have one of these out in play, and they're permanently removed from games. So you got to be careful about how you're going to pick your starting classes and abilities. But each set is its own little campaign. The only thing that's required is the dice and the tokens. The locations also change, which is kind of odd. Also, everything fits very nicely in the box. Well, that is the main core box. I also don't know if you guys like the new mat here. Yes, this is for the Skyrim game made by Chip Theory. I am working through that. I have seen that Shelfside has put out their review. I have not done mine yet because we have not finished the campaign yet. We have the Lost in Night expansion. Lost in Night expansion introduces a brand new 3-scenario long campaign with a cast of 4 new characters that bring unique stories and abilities to the table. Follow stories set across new locations, find new items, meet unknown new NPCs, all while learning more about the dark New Orleans. While the night of the While the Lost to the Night campaign is a completely separate story, players who have completed the base game will find a world with motives they're already familiar with. Here's our little rule sheet. Not a standalone game, obviously, because of the expansion. It requires the same Dark Quarter app, which can be downloaded free from the App Store. We recommend finishing the base game before playing this. Rules. This expansion does not introduce new rules to the base game. Any unique situations you might encounter will be explained to you by the app. The playable characters. In the Dark Quarter Lost Tonight, you play with 4 new characters. Character for the base game cannot be used in this campaign. This expansion contains new character boards, miniatures, cards, and will only use dice, skill cubes, and character markers from the base, assigning them to the thematic color. And that's where I'm a little bit disappointed, because I was hoping you can mix and match investigators, but seeing how the game is designed, it kind of makes sense. We got some new character NPC tokens to put at locations. We got some new characters. Hector Zalaveta, Ferryman One-Eye Lafayette, Jane Blue Jay Tyan, and Evelyn Dansky. But again, really neat with how the layers are done to fit the artwork. And of course, we got all their backstory on the back. We have a continuation of the tray that I like this system. These spots, I can't figure out what actually goes in here. I think they're just recessed to hold the minis down. No new board for New Orleans, which is a little disappointing. And obviously we got this weird giant chimera thing as probably the boss, because let's face it, it's huge. But this one opens up with different items. Like this is about seals and stuff, I guess, more witches. I do like the art for the expansion. We have the cassette tape, which I believe is for the punk. We have this saxophone alligator, which I think is for the bar owner. We have these tickets, which are kind of cool. This, I'm not exactly sure. It looks like a license plate to me, but I'm pretty sure that's for the Vietnam vet. We do have return of some equipment cards, like Flashlight was in the original deck. But this one, like, I don't know why it has cocaine. Maybe it's a bribe thing. But this one doesn't really have a weapon. I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, I don't think there's any weapons in here. It's more like magic stuff, suit, glyphs, creatures. Yeah, just seems more magical. Which I know everyone's going to say, I'm going to hate because I don't like magic. The location cards have changed, which is neat. But that's all that really adds. I'm not sure if it's going to add a lot more to the game. Probably if you're a fan of the first Dark Quarter, you'll want a continuation. I'm going to play through and see how it goes. I may or may not actually play the second campaign. And then we have the last. This is the Dark Quarter, the Yesterday Demon and Other Stories. This was a free add-on if you did the pledge through Kickstarter or GameFound. I can't remember. I gotta check. Pretty sure it's GameFound. This exclusive expansion introduces 4 standalone scenarios, each which focus on a prequel story to one of the B1 agency detectives, Constance, John, Julia, and Winter. Despite narrowly focused on a single character, each scenario is fully playable with up to 4 players. Due to the standalone nature of the scenarios, the Yesterday Demon and Other Stories is a good way to introduce new players to the Dark Quarter. All at the same time expands the world for those veterans already familiar with the Dark Quarter. Really kind of sounds like this is the exclusive, and it's also, you're not missing much. So don't feel bad if you didn't get it. Yesterday Demon is not a standalone game, requires the Dark Quarter. Requires the Dark Quarter app, same thing. Recommend finishing the base game before playing the Yesterday Demon expansion. Unlike the base game, the Dark Quarter are not linked to each other in campaign, so you can play them in any order of your choosing, and your character progression is not transferred from one scenario to the other. As far as rules, this expansion does not introduce any new rules to the base game. Any unique situations will be held by the app. Playable characters. In the Dark Quarter Yesterday Demon, you will play using characters from the Dark Quarter base game. Use all other base game components, add new ability cards, including Yesterday Demon expansion, the corresponding ability deck card decks from the base game. New abilities can be used when playing both the Yesterday Demon and the base game campaign, following the rules as usual. we have a smaller pool of NPCs. Same system for the tokens. This giant, really cool moose that's getting vomited up by this person. The location cards. Some of these location cards are going to be familiar with the base game, but this is a continuity of the base game. This is also the lightest box out of the two. And I think these are going to be like bosses or NPCs you gotta deal with. And again, they're all numbered at the bottom, which is really nice. And again, they're numbered here. But new items. And again, they all have the QR code, so lots of potential for really neat stuff. We have our new abilities. They are marked in the corner with this little green mark for what set they are. It's an interesting system. And then like this, the Witch's Ladder. Obviously, this is combined with the ribbon, the herbs, and the wildflowers, because all three of those things are here. So that's probably what that is. Maybe a bouquet also. Charms, totems. Yeah, some repeats of a lot of things to make gumbo. Where's the celery? No celery. Okay. But as you can see, we got some interesting things that go along. As far as themes go, this is, again, individual 4 separate stories. I don't think you're missing out on it if you didn't get it. I'm not sure if this is an exclusive, but the box makes it sound like an exclusive. But yeah, that is the Dark Quarter. Interesting concept of a game. Like I said, it is an updated system from the Destiny's game. I know Destiny's gone through 2 Kickstarters or GameFound scenarios. I wasn't a fan of the first one because it was really just kind of solo play solitaire as a group game. In this variant, again, every character is interacting. I think it's going to be much more enjoyable. I think that's what I'm looking for in the game anyhow. If you like Destiny's, then you might like Dark Quarter. But personally, I need interaction. If I'm going to play a board game with people, I would like to interact with them more. And I don't think we're going to be trying to sabotage each other. As far as the theme, the dark, gritty New Orleans environment is one of the best places to tell stories of the supernatural. We got such rich history with zombies, vampires. Werewolves I'm not so sure about. Ghosts, definitely ghosts. We got voodoo and hoodoo. They picked a really good environment to do it, following the Arkham format of having investigators and you're trying to solve a supernatural mystery. I really like the theme of it. I expect this to be a fun time. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to devote to this because I am starting the Drowned City. But I am looking forward to the Dark Quarter. Maybe I'll be doing this with pickup groups down the road. But yeah, that has been the unboxing of Dark Quarter. As soon as I get some gameplay through and record some video, I'll do a review on it. Sadly, there was nothing here to add to the 2025 giveaway, so I don't have anything to add to the giveaway. But if you want to win some free stuff, check out that video, especially if you're an Arkham Horror fan. Other than that, take care of yourselves, and GG's.
But wait, there's more!
I know I hit the 200 subscriber milestone last week. I've been kind of busy, finally getting around to it, and I'm glad I kind of held off just to wait to see. But long story short, it's time to pick a winner. And I said I'd pick the winner in a random way. I have a D30 here. There are 21 comments on the video. If I roll over 22 or above, it's a reroll. But I'm going to go from numbered down from first to 21. And whatever it is, that person will get to pick a prize out of the prize pool. Best of luck, everyone. Okay, that's a reroll. 15. And if I start from 1, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Doodly-doo. For all future references, how I communicate with people since I don't use X or Twitter or whatever the hell it's called now. And I don't think MySpace is around. And I don't want to give Facebook any money. I use Reddit. So please create a Reddit account and give me your name without the R, and I will PM you through that. There's still a lot of stuff to give away. All you got to do is find the 2025 giveaway video, post a comment, and when I hit that milestone, prize will be given out. The next 250 mark, I will be giving away the retail version of Skyrise with some Kickstarter exclusives. So for your chance to win, definitely check it out.